So viewers, we are coming again to you with yet another edition of the Winning Business Corporate Interviews. And today we are going to interview Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. His success story, his inputs on the industry and the environment, and what is his vision. Stay tuned to know more. Good afternoon, Doc. Thanks for giving your time. So we will straight get into the question more. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has come up with these strong reforms, RERA, the demonetization, GST. What do you think, how our country is looking ahead in terms of the business is concerned with respect to real estate as well as the industry as well? What is your opinion?
See, it's absolutely very clear that there was bound to be a disruption post bringing all these reforms. And even the Prime Minister has accepted it that these disruptions are quite natural and are going to happen. In fact, a political statement has also been made that I'm willing to pay the price of this disruption which is causing it, because it is absolutely necessary to bring about these reforms. So what are we doing? We are really saying that this short-term pain will bring about a long-term gain to the economy, to the country, and effectiveness. If you look at Demon, the intentions were very clean and clear that unofficial cash monies transactions should be mitigated, and really we needed to move forward and bring more of this cash into the net. I think the first part of it, there is a question as to the effectiveness of the entire methodology, but the second part has definitely been achieved because the amounts have been deposited in the banks and they are now available through the banking system to do it. Similarly, the one tax, one country, one tax, I think is a good idea. All the barricades which were there outside each of the cities, octroi nakas, check nakas, multiple places, the time taken for the transport to go from north to south, east to west, was so time consuming and waste of time and energy. This, I think, has become more efficient. Similarly, in the case of RERA, the protection of the consumer in the long run has happened. However, there is a short-term pain. There is no doubt about it. The economy has taken a dip. There has been some unemployment in segments that have taken place. There is an issue from the developers who are already stretched and overstretched for getting any funds and availability for completing their existing project. But yes, it is an expectation that things similar to what happened in 1991, when the Fiat car and the Ambassador disappeared and the other cars came in. There was a lot of pain for the existing companies. But that has changed, and today the economy is definitely picking up again. We have crossed the 5.2, 5.6 mark in terms of GDP growth. So I'm expecting and hoping that this will continue and all the problems that we are facing will actually vanish in terms of it, with an expectancy of bringing about better and efficient economy and a cleaner economy.
So what is your vision for affordable housing in India?
See, in the entire gamut of things, let's look at the various sectors. Let's look at aviation. Today, a low-cost airline, Indigo, makes better profits than the full-fare airline. So it's not the low cost alone which is really important, but it's the efficiency of the low-cost aviation that becomes important. Similarly, the demand in terms of low-cost airline, the number of passengers now taking the air have become huge as compared to the earlier full fare paying passenger. People are opting for airline rather than going by train. So similarly, in the case of affordable housing, the demand in this segment is huge. The question is, can we change the benchmarks to see that affordable housing also becomes profitable, like in any other case? Look at what has happened in the case of telecom. Jio has made a paradigm completely, brought about a cost reduction of cost in terms of whatever is available in terms of airtime, as well as talk time, as well as internet facility. And all these efficiencies have put many of the previous manufacturers out of business. But here the efficient have to really say. Similarly, affordable housing will rule the roost. It's only a matter of time before this happens.
What are your initiatives on affordable housing?
Oh, we've been doing it across the board. Even when we started in Powai, we were selling housing over here at 550 rupees a foot. When we started Thane, we started at 1100 rupees a foot. When we started Panvel, it was 3000 rupees a foot. So obviously those were affordable segments. Over a period of time, as infrastructure improves, the townships bring more and more amenities, the costs really go up in terms of add value that is done, and the prices have gone up. But we focus on the smaller size affordable housing in terms of size, even in Powai, in Thane, in Panvel, and all the other segments. So we are all into it.
So can you share your dream about the universal real estate education? Because you've learned so much, you need to give back to the society.
I think you have to understand that real estate is not a singular subject. It is civil engineering, it is electrical engineering, it is project management, it's about management of finances, it's about taxation systems, it's about planning, so many other things. It's about design efficiency, it's about bringing amenities to the whole thing. So real estate is like a complete thing which encompasses all the businesses, all the knowledge and all education. So you can't say real estate is only engineering. You can't say real estate is only finance. So all these gamuts required to come into this one subject. Second, 260 industries are directly connected with the real estate industry. So each of those items, whether it is cement, whether it is steel, whether it's shuttering, whether it's tiles, whether it is roofing tiles, whether it's electrical equipment, all these form part of the industry that we are now talking about. So education will encompass all that. It is so broad spectred you can't imagine. But all that is available to us. What is not available? What is not available is skill development at the grassroots level. So we don't have enough skills for carpenters. We don't have plumbers. We don't have electricians. We don't have masons. So we don't have this segment, which is very important. And that is what we need to focus on. Skills which are hand-driven, hand-use skills are what we really need to inculcate. The rest of the people are available from institutions which already exist.
So what are your visions or plans regarding skill development?
We do a lot in skill development. This year we will have 4,000 people being skilled through our NGO working, and we do a lot of engineering colleges. We run other colleges. I run 16 colleges in Bombay, and all this is really going to bring, we have 45,000 students in colleges. So as far as the formal education type, whether it's engineering and all the rest of it, we have plenty. What we have now in skill development is new. We have done it for the last couple of years, and this year, as we said, last year we did 2,000 people, this year we will do 4,000. So we attempt is to really scale up skill development at a very much faster pace, which is the need of the hour.
So what are your thoughts behind energy infrastructure?
Well, energy is another focus of the Prime Minister. He wants 24/7, 365 energy to be done. Second, he's also talked about renewable energy. So really, how can you use solar? How can you use wind? How can you use other alternative methods of producing energy, including waste? So we are very much into the idea of energy, and my son is putting up an LNG terminal in Jaigarh, which will bring in the best, least polluting type of petroleum product into the industry, into the country, and that will be available from next year onwards. So that's a positive side on the energy. Plus, of course, we are dabbling into solar and looking at other renewable energy sources that we can possibly get into. However, that's not very big, but it's a start.
Would you look at energy development abroad?
Not at this point of time, because we don't have that kind of plans at this point of time. But certainly a lot of that is being handled by my son in India in terms of LNG and pipelines. So it will be India-focused energy development.
So what are your plans to expand your hospitality sector? You already have a 5-star there. What are your plans on that? Are you looking at any destinations to expand in India or abroad?
Yes, we have a very ambitious program at Alibag. We have a 250-acre township just across the harbour from Gateway of India. And we want to put up 5 hotels. All will not be run by me, but we plan to at least own one of them and then run it. We plan to make a township where it will be tourism focused. We'll have a jetty. We plan to have water sports. Ultimately, hopefully, we will have a marina, house sports. So all this activity in terms of creating Raigad as a tourist destination. Nagaon actually specifically in Raigad, that is near Alibag. And this is a destination which will ultimately bring about hospitality and tourism to the extent to which that we will be a good competition to Goa.
Talking about Goa, would you plan to look at, say, acquisitions in Goa?
We are quite open to it. We haven't really moved into Goa at all. We have moved into other places, but not yet into Goa. We are not averse to looking at it, but we haven't had a good opportunity at this point of time.
What is the vision for your business for next 10 years?
Well, we are creators of townships. So as you must have seen, Powai and Thane already mixed-use townships with all amenities, including schools, hospitals, retail, gardens, education. All these things are put together in one location. So we locate all these things with amenities and other things. We also build a lot of commercial into our complexes. So it's more walk to work kind of idea. And because of this combination, we do find it's much more environmentally friendly. Less people need to go far to go to their place of work or go back home. So I think that's a very positive attitude that we have done. We plan to replicate such examples, multiple. We're doing it in Panvel, we'll do it in Alibag, we're planning in Khandala, we're planning in Pune, we're planning in Chennai. Chennai is started, Panvel is started.
So just to make things a little lighter, some personal questions. What makes you happy?
I think I'm happy doing what I do. And there is hardly anything that I do which doesn't make me happy. So I'm always happy. I'm a workaholic. I enjoy my work. I enjoy my party. I enjoy speaking to students. I enjoy reading. I enjoy lots of things, meeting people, especially youngsters, and learning new things all the time. I think that all makes me happy. So, and I run 17 colleges, I run 8 schools, I run 2 hospitals, and I'm a trustee of 3 temples. I run a skill development center. All this really makes me very happy, because just doing all this activity, which is substantially not for profit, I think it's a great satisfaction and happiness that I get. I also do business of real estate.
Doc, it's a proud moment for us to interview you, and you're one of these great stalwarts of business in the country. But you are a self-made billionaire. So, just a small question about when you started. I'm sure you must have come up with a vision or a mission at that time. And was it evolved over a period of time, or you exactly knew where you wanted to go?
Not at all. We did have ambition and aspiration at each stage in life, and as I have today, I had 30 years ago also. Every time you had a new aspiration, a new dream, a new vision, and then you work towards trying to make that dream a reality. Some of the dreams, the realities have been much better than my dreams. So, and today we continue to dream new things, new projects, new things. So it's quite a pleasure to do it. And it's not only for the purpose of business, it's even the non-business category that we really do that. So I mean, I've enjoyed each and every aspect about it. A couple of days ago, somebody phoned me and he said, oh, I didn't know in your hospital you have this specialized radiation treatment for cancer. I said, we do have radiation, but I don't know about the specialized part that you're talking about. He said, no, we referred to America, to a center where a particular type of radiation is done, which cures a particular type of cancer. And they told me that, why are you coming all the way to America when it's available in your hospital, the Dr. MD Hiranandani hospital in Powai? And I was also surprised, because I didn't know that part of it. So many times when you do all this work, it's not necessarily that the buildings that you do or the kind of business that you do, but it's also all these other activities like speaking to students, interacting with them, running these institutions, the NGO, educational institutions, hospitals, etc., which I derive a lot of pleasure. I also love my work, and I love making new townships, design the townships, master plan them, build the beautiful buildings, and see that the quality of life of the people who live in these complexes should be second to none in the world. And the people who live here are happy. That's the bottom line.
So what have been your greatest moments of success?
I think it happens so very often. Every time you complete a building, you do an activity, you do an NGO activity, you attend a college function. The other day I had to speak to my students in my school on my father's 100th birthday anniversary. And I spoke to the senior KG, first standard and second standard students. And between them and me, I learned to teach them how to be happy. A couple of days later, I got a call from one of the parents, a mother of one of the children who had attended this class. And they said, my son came and taught me how to be happy. So mom, you should never be unhappy and you will never cry, because I'm teaching you how to be happy because Hiranandani uncle came and taught us that. Now, those kind of pleasures, how can you replicate? It's kind of gives you a delight which is unimaginably make you happy. So it was not only the child who learned how to be happy, he was telling his mother that you should never be unhappy, I love you so much, I'm teaching you how to be happy always. So I think those are the kind of things which add on to your life's pleasures. And I think that makes it all.
Doc, what do you do to recharge when you feeling drained?
I go to sleep and get up again and I'm charged back again. So I don't think there is something, I enjoy my work so much. So I do get tired obviously at the end of the day. And but I sleep soundly. It takes me 2 minutes to go to sleep on any day. And I wake up refreshed. So yes, we get tired, but it's pretty end of the day of a long day before I get tired.
So the last question, what do you want people to remember you by?
Well, I really don't know. I think a lot of things which I don't speak to people about is what I would love to be remembered about. But since I don't speak to people, how would they remember me for that? But there are so many little things that I would love, to have it. I remember going to an architectural school about 12, 14 years ago. And there was a young student of architecture. And she introduced me, and I've been introduced thousands and thousands of times. But there was one kind of introduction which delighted me. And she said, Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani is a builder and has built projects in Powai and this and that and that and that. But everybody in life makes history, his story. But very few people make geography. Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani has made geography. And so, these are the little things in life taught by a young student of architecture in some small function which may have had just 200 people that gives you delight. So I don't know what people will remember me by. I don't think that's important for me. But I delight into the fact that I enjoy the present and I enjoy their presence with me. So it doesn't bother me really how to remember. Let me tell you that I don't think people will remember too much. People tend to forget whether they're close to you or not. I don't think people remember people too much. And I just feel that if I can touch people's mind and hearts for the moment, I'm very happy about it. There is a question I ask many of the students in Mumbai when I go to lecture, which is, where is the tallest statue of Mahatma Gandhi in Mumbai? And out of thousands and thousands of students, maybe not more than 1 out of 10,000 give me the correct answer. And it's a very surprising thing. But you ask them who's the richest man in India or the richest man in the world, and almost 99% will give correct answers. So the emphasis on remembering people because I'm rich, or people who are rich is so ridiculous, or they are politically powerful, or they are gangsters, are the kind of people who seem to be remembered. And that's a sad plight. So I'm not bothered about being remembered in that sense of the term. I delight in the moment with people.
Lastly, what is your message for the young startups today?
I think the startups are very lucky, the youngsters are very lucky, because the opportunity which exists in startups today didn't exist earlier. So in my day and time, one did incremental increases in that. Today, startups have access to money, to investments and opportunities. Also, the markets are willing to accept young people for the purpose of startups and are willing to pay a good value when they achieve certain destinations and goals. So I think it's a very lucky moment for startups. So I wish them well. Many succeed, many fail, but it's the trying which is more important. So I think it's a delight.
Thank you so much, Doc, for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.